stray animal care in Moldova. Bringing hope to Moldova's strays. 31.8.20-3. Moldova is considered the poorest country in Europe, with more than 25% of the total population living below the national poverty line. Many adult Moldavians have left the country to seek work in Western European countries, leaving behind a dysfunctional society of mostly elderly people and small children. The country is torn between pro-Russian and pro-European political leaders, and mismanagement of public funds is an ongoing issue. So it is no surprise that Moldova also has a very high density of stray dogs, with an estimated 20,000 dogs living in the capital city, Chisinau, and surrounding areas alone. While there are thousands of dogs born on the streets or abandoned each year, many will die at a young age due to the hardships they must face. In addition, there is a large number of public and private shelters, where dogs are housed in poor conditions and kept in large groups, resulting in terrible, deadly fights and death. And while dog ownership is popular, abandonment is high, and there are almost no local shelter adoptions. The overall welfare of the dogs on the streets, as well as in shelters, is extremely poor. Shooting, poisoning, starving to death, and even skinning dogs for their fur is a regular occurrence in some communities. Hope for strays since 2020. In 2020, the authorities of Moldova contacted Four Paws and confirmed the huge need for a sustainable and humane stray animal management program. The country itself does not only lack money and resources to implement such a program, but also the skill sets necessary. Four Paws is helping the authorities to set up spay and neuter clinics to implement high-volume, high-quality sterilizations, starting from basic veterinary training, veterinary licenses for appropriate anesthesia drugs and equipment, training in humane methods of catching and transporting animals, and sharing best practice monitoring and evaluation processes. Since 2021, we have collaborated with our local partner Dr. Vet in Moldova to help with this project. What Four Paws has done so far. When Four Paws became aware of the dire situation for strays in Moldova in 2020, we knew we had to act. And so we did. But with so many dogs in the country everywhere, there was only one way forward: to set up, together with the community, a systematic, sustainable, and humane dog population management program to avoid further dogs being born onto the streets in the years to come and to, over time, reduce the number of strays. 2023, continuing our specialized veterinary project. After establishing first initial contacts in the country, delivering emergency relief, and conducting our first veterinary support projects in 2020 and 2021, Four Paws returned to Moldova in January 2023 to carry out a long-term specialized veterinary project with our local partner Dr. Vet Moldova, with the aim of sterilizing stray dogs in the greater area of Chisinau. How help for stray animals kept hope alive. The big message from a tiny kitten in Ukraine, the 17th of October, 2022. The life of a stray animal is tough. With no place to call home, strays are vulnerable to hunger, illness, injuries, and mistreatment. Quite often, their lives literally depend on the kindness of strangers. But what happens to these animals if help starts to run out? I've seen what happens. These vulnerable beings languish in the streets. Stray animal care in Ukraine. Since the Russian invasion, our stray animal care in Ukraine has taken on even greater urgency. People and animals are caught in the crossfire with fewer resources to sustain themselves through these desperate, troubling times. For more than 10 years, Four Paws has been active in Ukraine, and despite the onset of the war, we had no intention of stopping. With more strays on the street and less help to go around, these animals needed us more than ever. Throughout this war, our stray animal care team has managed so far to help more than 1,800 homeless dogs and cats in Ukraine. We have treated injured animals, supported shelters with additional resources, and helped families feed and care for their beloved pets. Our mobile veterinary clinic enabled the team to reach areas where our help was needed most. With so many homes devastated and loved ones lost, our work to help pets and their owners, stray animals and shelter animals, brought some comfort and hope to these areas. Every life is worth fighting for. One day, we were called to Human in the Cherkasy region. An abandoned female kitten had been found in front of a grocery store. Neighbors had heard her cries all night long as she wandered the streets. She was still desperately meowing by the store the next day, only to be ignored by passers-by. Finally, a compassionate employee from the store picked her up, gave her some water, and contacted our team. As soon as we saw her, we knew something was wrong. The kitten only walked in circles, and her head was constantly turned to the right. We rushed to a local clinic, where she received a full examination. The vet found a serious infectious lesion of the brain. The kitten would need intensive, costly treatment and constant supervision to survive. Without this care, the vet expected her to pass away by the end of the week. She couldn't even eat on her own. Our team wouldn't accept this prognosis and did everything possible to help the poor kitten. Each day our vet assistant administered life-saving medicines and provided food and plenty of love and care. Against all odds, she began to recover. It seemed only fitting that we named this little fighter Hope. Hope's condition continued to improve day by day. She started to eat on her own again, and her mobility increased. And the best ending to this story: she was adopted by a lovely family. We were able to save Hope. But what happens to others if help starts to run out? We can't let it get to that point. Every life is worth fighting for. Never give up hope. Animal-assisted interventions, from stray to superhero. Stray dogs with a mission to change attitudes. The 21st of August 2023. Animal-assisted interventions, AAA, are a vital aspect of our community stray animal care approach. By fostering empathy and changing attitudes towards stray dogs, these interventions aim to change people's behaviors towards them. Through first-hand experiences with these resilient and affectionate animals, participants develop a perception of stray dogs as deserving of care and protection. This shift in perception promotes responsibility and active engagement in local community stray animal care initiatives, such as adoption, spaying, neutering, responsible pet ownership, and supporting local shelters. Ultimately, our goal is to create a compassionate society that values and provides an opportunity for stray dogs to lead happy and healthy lives. Four Paws pioneered a groundbreaking initiative by becoming the first organization to introduce an AAI program that selects, trains, and certifies former stray dogs as therapy dogs. This pioneering effort aims to demonstrate the significant contributions that stray dogs can make to our society. Under the guidance of experts, these dogs undergo specialized training to fulfill their role as therapy dogs, further highlighting their potential and positive impact. These dogs are also adopted by their dog handler and become their pet dog, well as therapy dog. Why stray dogs can make such good therapy animals? Stray dogs possess qualities that make them excellent companions for humans, including sensitivity, reliability, and sociability, enabling them to excel as therapy dogs. To prepare them for this role, experienced dog trainers provide consistent reward-based training, along with the necessary equipment and a suitable environment. Our teams ensure comprehensive training for carefully selected dogs, meeting international requirements before they embark on their new journey as therapy dogs. Preparing dogs for animal-assisted interventions. Four Paws has developed its own quality standards for animal-assisted interventions, AAI, to define, secure, check, and continuously improve the quality of our AAI activities. We want to achieve the best possible quality of life for the former stray dogs in our care, as well as operate the program as effectively and efficiently as possible. Our priority is the welfare of our dogs. So when it comes to AAI work, we need to ensure that the dog is physically and mentally fit to work in AAI settings. The catch-neuter-vaccinate return approach, the only humane and sustainable solution to protect millions of stray dogs and cats worldwide. The 17th of August 2023. Stray animal populations are a huge animal welfare issue, with an estimated total of over 200 million stray dogs in the world, and an even higher number of stray cats roaming the streets according to the World Health Organization. In addition, many more homeless animals are waiting in shelters for a home which often never comes. Killing as means of controlling the overpopulation of companion animals is still legal and practiced frequently in several countries across the world. Stray dogs and cats often live very hard and short lives, suffering from a lack of food, shelter, untreated illness, injuries, and sometimes deliberate abuse. And of course, not only the welfare of the animals is compromised, but because they have been abandoned or born on the streets, there are issues for humans too. For example, they may present a health risk to humans, either through the transmission of zoonotic diseases, for example rabies, and toxoplasmosis, or the contamination of the environment through urine and feces. And they may cause a public nuisance, for example fighting and scavenging for food, traffic accidents. The sad cycle of suffering continues. Did you know that a single female dog can give birth to more than a dozen puppies a year or more than 80 during her lifetime? Female cats are even more prolific in their reproductive capacity. Each intact female cat could potentially give birth to 180 kittens over the course of her lifetime. It does not take a degree in mathematics to understand how the population of strays can exponentially grow to significant levels when left unaddressed. Every new litter born is a huge stressor for the mother, who must sacrifice her body and health to feed her little ones, often with devastating consequences. The few puppies and kittens that do survive and make it to adulthood often become pregnant as young as 6 months, and the sad cycle of suffering continues. Even though the infant mortality of stray animals is extremely high, with up to 75% of juveniles in some areas not surviving a month or two, dogs and cats are so fertile that without intervention stray populations grow exponentially while more dogs and cats suffer. A humane and sustainable approach. Although in an ideal world, each dog and cat would have a warm, loving home, this is not the reality, and Four Paws works hard to improve the well-being of stray animals. As a first priority, we work towards a reduction of the stray as well through humane methods to improve their well-being. It is widely agreed that the only way to humanely and sustainably control stray dog populations is by implementing the CNVR method, catch, neuter, vaccinate, return. For cats specifically, we speak of TNVR, trap, neuter, vaccinate, return.